move here, Gary.
Talk about elevating and linger. Jermaine Griffin says, well, if Kobe can't do it, maybe it's my turn to take over. I'm the second leading scorer on this team.
Yo, it's Mel from Queens Sports Talk. You know, what's going on? Thank y'all for tuning in. Yo, we're going to have like a nice show today. If you want to call in, 347-410-8077. That's 347-410-8077. Today, man, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, man. I got a couple changes, a couple things that I added to it. So I'm excited for today's show. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball, a little bit of football, you know, a little bit what's going on with all this free agency and stuff like that. And also what I'm introducing today is going to be the top 5 plays of the week. And my top 5 plays of the week, it won't be plays from like ESPN. It won't be plays from like any professional sports. You know, these top plays, I want you guys to email me any plays that you have, top plays, no matter the sport, at info@ourworldmedia.com. That's info@ourworldmedia.com. I want you to just send me some of your highlights, you know, of your team's highlights, the players' highlights. If you're a parent, you know, your child's highlights, you know, whatever sport they play, because we want to kind of like, you know, we want to show love. You know, we want to big them up. You know, I mean, we want to show love to them, because that's what it's all about. The young people, it's just not about the sport. I mean, just about the pros and the professionals, but we want to show like our young talent and you know, young men and women out here putting in that work, doing their thing, you know, on all levels, whether it's, you know, high school, few basketball tournaments. You know how it is, man. Plays of the week is just plays of the week. So I'm going to give y'all my top 5 plays of the week. And the good thing is that I was at the game, so we outside, man. You already know. I was at the game myself, Lincoln Park. It was a good game between Holy Cross and Team Underrated from Long Island. That was a really good game. Went into double overtime. So it's definitely that was a really good game that day. So got some highlights from that game. So like I said, once again, you can call in 347-410-8077. This is your boy Mel from Queens, and you tuned in to WGJSradio.com. So we're going to get it started with a little bit of baseball. Y'all know I always got to kind of big up, you know, the Mets and the Yankees. I'm a Mets fan, always been a Mets fan, diehard Mets fan. Mets, we still in control. I see Atlanta right there creeping. So we probably about a half a game or game up on Atlanta right now. So we got to continue to hold them off in the National League. Everybody know how the Dodgers get down. So they still, you know, right now they're the top of the National League. You know, we were the top, you know what I mean? But we get that back. And ain't nothing, dude. The Yankees, you know, they kind of had a little slide a little bit, but, you know, they still number one. You know, they still number one. They still got the American League on lock. That's the good thing about getting out early. You know, getting your team out early and wins, because every team go through maybe 2-game losing streak. You know, especially in baseball. You know, you might have a couple series that you might lose, but you're saying, you know, you want to win more series than you lose. So I'm still looking forward to this Mets and Yankees Subway Series this year, man. I'm excited about that. Hopefully we can see it through. If not, hopefully the Mets can make it, and whatever happened to the Yankees, man, happens. You know what I mean? Nah. But I ain't going to hate on the Yankees fans or love. I want to see that Subway Series this year. Also, we're going to talk a little football. Football season is almost on the way. And it's funny that they didn't rank Lamar Jackson as a top 10, you know, quarterback. The game, if you look at football and how the game is played, the way the college game has been played for years, it's beginning to transition into the NFL. You have way more teams now that are playing, that are using quarterbacks, not only for throwing, but now they're incorporating the offense where you're a dual threat. You can run and you can throw. And you know, at one time, you know, that the quarterback position was so political where, you know, they didn't really I feel like as far as NFL level, they didn't really show the respect to the dual threat quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Coming up now, I'll go back a long way. Even though I don't look like it, man. You know, thank God, nah. But I remember Randall Cunningham when he used to play for the Eagles. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big Giants fan. I always loved the Giants. You know, back in the Phil Simms, Jeff Hostetler years, man. You know, even before, I mean, after that. But I'm just saying, like, during those years, it was Randall Cunningham. And Randall Cunningham was like a beast at, you know, running and throwing the ball. Warren Moon was great at it. But at the time, the only quarterback they really showed love to, I mean, they showed love to Randall Cunningham, but the quarterback they showed the most love to me personally, I felt like was John Elway. I felt like they always talked about his mobility and his throwing in the pocket, but Randall Cunningham, he had a shotgun arm, and he had feet, man. Like before Michael Vick, if you look up Randall Cunningham, he probably was the most explosive quarterback to play that position. So don't get me wrong. Yes, you have to be able to throw and you have to be able to run. But to make it seem like Lamar Jackson can't throw at all, you know, or he should be ranked not in the top 10 because he's not the perfect thrower, to me, I feel like that's dumb because I feel like the name of the game is winning. The name of the game is putting your team in position to win. And I feel like, even though I'm not a Baltimore Ravens fan, I feel like that Lamar Jackson has, since when he was healthy and he was balling, he always had Baltimore in position to make some noise, whether it was in the regular season and into the playoffs. Now, he had one bad playoff year, but so did Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck had his first his first year in the playoffs. I believe he had about 7 turnovers. One game he had 3, one game he had 4. And people wasn't paying that no big deal. It was no big deal. But at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson is like one of the best players in the NFL right now. I feel he's a top 10 player. You just talking about top 10 player who can get it done? I'm putting Lamar Jackson as a top 10 player in the NFL. So you can't tell me he's not, you know, a top 10 quarterback. And what I feel is that ever since Deshaun Jackson situation with the Texans, I feel like it's been kind of like, okay, you know what? The NFL is saying like, yo, we done had too many black quarterbacks doing their thing. It was looking like a black quarterback league all over again. And then once Deshaun Watson, my bad. Once Deshaun Watson asked for that trade and they blackballed him, it seemed like they've been trying to just promote, and don't get me wrong, football is football, you know, so I don't come from a negative perspective, but I know what the narrative is. It seemed like now they've been trying to, you know, promote more of these white quarterbacks to kind of outshine. Like if you're not talking about Patrick Mahomes, you know, Aaron Rodgers, then you're not telling me Joe Burrow and all these dudes, man, is better than Lamar Jackson. I ain't hearing it. Now, you might say they might have a little bit more, some of these quarterbacks might have a little bit more consistency, but still, you know, Lamar Jackson is a dual threat. I mean, he's a quarterback who actually, one season, I believe he threw for 32 touchdowns and he ran for 6. So that's not a fluke. If you throwing for 32 touchdowns in a season and you run for 6 touchdowns, come on, man. Who's doing that? If your name is not, just say maybe like Michael Vick or maybe Randall Cunningham. I'm not saying that they got that many touchdowns thrown and passed, but I'm just saying these are the type of players that I look at. Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, even probably Russell Wilson. You know, it's players like that, you know, that's holding it down. Now, I'm not saying other quarterbacks ain't good, but I just noticed like the shift is like now they trying to like promote more and more, you know, white quarterbacks, and then they're trying to get back to, if you don't throw like this in the pocket and throw like that. But a lot of these quarterbacks that they be kind of hyping up, they don't be showing out. They don't be moving their team. They don't be moving the needle. So that's just something I just wanted to just touch on. Listen, man, it is what it is. It's about wins and it's about losses, and it's about getting it done. Now, Lamar Jackson, he gets it done. You know, that's just what it is. So Forget about the media narratives. I'm going to be watching that this season and see what's good. Now, you want to talk about a media narrative? Let's go back to the Brooklyn Nets. You know, what's going on with Kevin Durant? I personally feel that Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. So, how can I explain it? The reason why he's not being traded, I feel like the collective bargaining agreement is going to be coming up soon. A lot of owners are upset at Kevin Durant right now because they say he just signed a 4-year contract. And before the 4-year contract even kind of kicks in and take place, he's asking for a trade. Now, here's the thing. Who cares? That's his right. Now, some people might have a problem with it, but the reason why I don't have a problem with it is because players get traded all the time. Players get released all the time. Players get told one thing all the time, and then management go and do another thing. Let me give you a few examples. Who remember Isaiah Thomas? We know the situation with Isaiah Thomas, not Zeke, the Isaiah Thomas that used to play for the Boston Celtics. He was injured, and he decided to play through an injury thinking that the franchise would be faithful to him, made his injury worse, and then they wouldn't pay him. They wouldn't sign him. They wouldn't add him back. But we always got a problem when players do what's best for them. So teams could do what's best for them. Franchises, owners, coaches, GMs, presidents of the company, they all do what's best for them. But when a player does what's best for them, everybody has an issue. Everybody is a problem for everybody. And we at the point now, we got to start coming against that stuff. We got to stop accepting that stuff, and we got to stop allowing these media narratives to kind of like control our minds, infiltrate our minds, and pretty much have us spewing hate, negativity against certain players, you know what I mean? Just based off a narrative. Nah, man, if the owners could release a player, could trade a player, could waive a player, then I feel like a player, at any given time, an owner can do that. Any given time. Any given time, an owner, unless you have a no trade clause in your contract, an owner could trade you. So if that's possible, why not? We shouldn't make it possible for players to leave when they want to leave. Now, here's my thing. A lot of times, and call in 347-410-8077 because I want to have this conversation. I want people to call in and chime in on this today because we talk about loyalty in sports, and I think we got to stop doing that. I think we got to stop talking about the loyalty in sports, and I think people just need to just do whatever they do as players, and we understand as a business. Because when we talk about loyalty in sports, is there true loyalty in sports? No, I would say the only loyalty I've seen in sports, for me, personally, my lifetime was Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. And here's why I say that's the only loyalty that I've seen from any player. Because a lot of times, just because you've been on the team for a bunch of years doesn't mean the franchise is loyal. A lot of times people say, oh, Tim Duncan and Dirk Nowitzki, they play with these franchises for 19, 20 years. So what? You know why they did that, and why, to me, I don't count that as loyalty. And I'm going to tell you the difference between what Kobe Bryant did with the Lakers and what the Lakers did for Kobe Bryant versus what the San Antonio Spurs did for Duncan and what Duncan did for the Spurs and what Dirk Nowitzki did for the Dallas Mavericks and what they did. Here's the difference. Number one. Dirk Nowitzki and Tim Duncan They gave up almost $200 million in salary to stay with those teams over those 19 and 20 years. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Star caliber players, Tim Duncan and Dirk Nowitzki, they gave up at least $180 million in salary over the 20 years for what? To make the team better? No. That's not loyalty. That's them taking advantage of you. That's how I look at it. I don't look at that as like a true loyalty. Yes, they got the years, but they gave up the money. What I respect about Kobe Bryant and the Lakers is that Kobe Bryant got every penny, and the Lakers had no problem paying him every penny. That's what loyalty is in sports. I'm getting all my money. I don't care what the roster look like. Don't come to Kobe saying like, yo, we need you to take a pay cut at the time he was living. I mean, he's alive. Yeah, we need you to take a pay cut because we want to make the Lakers better. No, Kobe was like, no, get all the money that you can get. Get your max. And he lived by it, and Kobe did it. And he got all his money. The Lakers paid him all his money, and he was with them for 20 years. Now, there was one time when Shaq left, when the Lakers were struggling, and Kobe asked for a trade. Let's put that out there. He did ask for a trade. But, Jerry West, he was with Memphis at the time, and he ended up sending the Lakers Paul Gasol as a gift. Let's say it like that, as a gift, right? So the Lakers ended up not trading Kobe, but they end up making sure he got the help that he needed. And we know the rest from there. The Lakers went on to go to back-to-back finals. Actually, they went to 3 finals. They lost one, and they won 2. They won 2 back-to-back. So getting Paul Gasol, it helped. It allowed them to keep Kobe Bryant for his entire career. Now, Kobe Bryant, he was traded to the Lakers. He wasn't originally drafted by the Lakers, but since he was traded to the Lakers on draft night, we look at Kobe as a Laker for life. You know what I mean? When we talk about, I know it was a debate this last week, who's the greater Laker out of Kobe and Magic? That's a tough debate for anybody, because I feel like Kobe has more years, but I feel like Magic Johnson was responsible for taking the Lakers to the next level during a time when the NBA was kind of struggling. And we know Boston pretty much was running everything for a long time. Jerry West, he struggled. I think Jerry West was like 1-9. It's funny, and we're gonna talk that talk today. Forget that. We're gonna talk that talk. It's funny how Jerry West was 1-9 in the finals with the Lakers, and he's the logo. He's the logo. No problems, no issues for years. We ain't never hear like, yo, he's a loser. Have you? Just think about it. If during the years, and I'm talking about, forget about those in this era. People like, yeah, in this era, they was calling him a loser. I'm just talking about media-wise. I'm just talking about in the streets. I'm talking about in basketball conversations at the barbershop, at the park, you know what I mean, at a gym. You never heard Jerry West called a loser. The first time you started hearing a player being called a loser was when when people and media started hating on LeBron because they felt like he was a threat to be the GOAT. So now it's like, oh, if you lose in the finals, oh, you can't be considered the GOAT because of your record. But you got a guy who's the logo, who was 1-9 in the finals, and Bill Russell's out here with 11 chips. Why he's not the logo? If it's about championships, right? So I'm going to save that for another day. But just keep that thought in mind, because that is a conversation that we are going to have one day. So let's get it back to when we talking about loyalty. And if you want to call in, 347-410-8077. That's 347-410-8077. I don't have a problem with Kevin Durant asking for a trade. And why? Forget about what the media say. You know why I feel like Kevin Durant asked for a trade? If you just stop listening to the media, you just watch what's going on, the entire time before Kyrie Irving opted in, Kevin Durant was ghost. He was on a low. I feel like he was waiting for them to take care of Kyrie, or I feel like maybe he was hoping that they would take care of Kyrie and not pretty much just listen to Stephen A. Smith and not pay Kyrie his money. Because they're like, oh, he shouldn't get paid this. He don't deserve the max. He don't deserve this. Because the vaccine mandate was not his fault. That wasn't Kyrie Irving's fault. He didn't come into the season and not ready to play. Kyrie now, and I'm not the biggest Kyrie fan. Am I a fan of Kyrie? What he bring to the game? Yes. But is he one of my personal favorite players? No. But he do his thing. But Kyrie came into the season ready to ball. Even when they wouldn't allow Kyrie to play, which it was stupid anyway, because think about this. And until Adam Silver said something, Kyrie was being knocked all day, 24/7. And Adam Silver was saying like, yo, how does that make sense? A role player can come in, play, that's not vaccinated in New York, just say against the Nets. But a player that's played for the New York Nets that's not vaccinated, he can't play, but he can sit in the stands right behind it. He can sit in the stands right behind his team and watch them play the whole game. Come on, man. We know that was stupid. And people were still dogging Kyrie until Adam Silver said something, and eventually they changed that rule and they allowed Kyrie to play. Every time Kyrie was ready to ball. Kyrie was missing for months. He was missing for months. As soon as those lights came on, they gave him the ball, say you could play, he was putting in work off top. Whether you like him or not, it was off top. So all this narratives about killing his character and all this stuff, that's just media narratives. Outside of injuries, Kyrie has always been ready to ball. So don't stop letting these media saying Kyrie is a problem. He has an issue. He show up when he want to show up. That's not true at all. Kyrie, he be at the games. If it wasn't for injuries, the only time Kyrie, if you want to say, oh, that one time when he took off for his family, fine. But the only other times he took off was during the bubble, during the whole, because of COVID and the George Floyd protest that was going on. He said, you know what? It was an option for players not to play, and many players, not just Kyrie, opted not to play in the bubble. So how's Kyrie a problem? Last year, coming into the season, well, this year, coming into the season, nobody knew it was going to be a mandate. Everybody thought it was business as normal. So then now, New York hit with the mandate. Next thing you know, Kyrie Irving can't play. That's not Kyrie Irving's fault. But what the media did, they took the last 3 years he been with Brooklyn, they counted his injuries, and they counted the pandemic, and they counted the bubble and the mandates, and they try to destroy his character all day, 24/7. Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless, almost all of they follow suit. Nobody was telling the truth about Kyrie. So keep that in mind. So Kevin Durant, the whole time he's sitting back and he's quiet. He ain't saying a word. Contract negotiations come along, and what happens? They don't extend his contract, but Kyrie opted in to his final year. So Kevin Durant's like, okay, all right, cool. That's how I'm looking at it. Now, I could be wrong. I haven't heard from Kevin Durant. I haven't spoke to anybody in this camp. But I feel like this makes more sense than that spew what the media is trying to spew out there again for Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Once Kevin Durant saw that they wasn't going to pick up the extension for Kyrie, and Kyrie just opted into that 1 year, that's when Kevin Durant was like, you know what? I need a trade. But the media, I feel like the media is trying to spin it, and neither Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving spent. But the problem is, and people is not catching on, is that when the players take control of their journey, of their careers, the media always want to paint it into a bad thing. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back. And what I'm going to do is we're going to stay on this topic, but I also want to share with y'all, I'm going to start incorporating the top 5 plays of the week. And I was at Lincoln Park on Thursday. I was just getting the highlights of some games that was being played, and I was watching Holy Cross versus Team Underrated. They from Long Island, play a double overtime, just say thriller. So I'm gonna have the top 5 plays from that game when we come back. And if you want to kind of send me your top 5 plays, if you want to send me like a play of your child, whether they play any sport, don't matter what they play, were they doing their thing, send me the video. info@ourworldmedia.com. That's info@ourworldmedia.com. You got to send it at least by Wednesday. The latest I probably accept it is Thursday. If you send it by Wednesday, you got a chance to make it for that Saturday coming. But if you send it after Wednesday, expect to make it probably like the following week. Because I'm gonna use them more. If you send it, I'm gonna use it. But we're gonna try to get it in like early. So starting today up until Wednesday, send me some footage. I don't care if it's unlimited. I don't care if it's high school. I don't care if it's the young people. A great play is a great play. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I want y'all to call in 347-410-8077, 347-410-8077. This is Mel from Queens Sports Talk, and you listening to WGJS Radio.
Make sure to download the WGJS Radio app from the Apple Store or from the Google Play Store.
On Sunday, July 31st, come on out to a day of family fun at the 10th Annual Grace Jamaica Church Festival at Roy Wilkins Park from noon to 8 p.m. Advance tickets available now. Kids under 10 gets free admission to the park. Go to jerkfestivalny.com and get your tickets now.
Great having you.
Incredible women.
I wish they had those kind of cool careers for women when we were growing up.
So in this flashback, we're all the same age?
Yeah.
What does everyone want to be when they grow up?
If I say 2 jobs, do I get extra credit?
No.
I want to make immersive video games.
I want to revolutionize 3D printing.
I want to analyze data from the cloud.
I want to be a meteor.
You mean meteorologist?
No.
That's great, Al. Follow your dreams.
For the record, I was a baby in the 70s.
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops.
Even though we didn't grow up together, he's my favorite brother.
Hey, sis.
I'm the baby of the family, and he's the gentle giant.
What you know about Poor Georgia?
Man, please, that's a classic.
You know when they say people are a rare breed? Yeah, he's that.
I'm sorry, I'll be back in a few hours.
Don't worry, Shug, you know I'm for you.
I know.
Go get the football.
That was my favorite memory. He was always for you. This is a true story of me, Bridget Floyd, and this guy, George Perry Floyd Jr., my big brother.
Alright, how you guys doing?
Wait, how'd you get your video like that? Is that 4K or something?
Right, you got us over here looking like a hot mess.
No, it's actually a powerful live streaming app for Mac called Ecamm Live. You know what? Let me show it to you real quick. So you're able to use your mirrorless camera as a virtual webcam, and you can tweak the colors right in Ecamm Live using their camera effects, and then bring this video right into Zoom, Google Meet, and pretty much any other virtual meeting app. You can even stream directly to Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn and bring in comments right onto the video. And you can customize the look, size, and position of the comments right in the app. Or you can even add your logo to the corner of your video, or yourself, or both. There are plenty of picture-in-picture styles to choose from if you're sharing your screen for a tutorial or doing a presentation, and it doesn't have to be live. You can use it to record a course and eliminate the need to have to edit it later, all in 4K quality. And if you got a green screen, you can set it up right in Ecamm Live, and you can bring that into your different meetings. If you're feeling fancy, you can move yourself into the corner of your frame to do a commentary or a reaction video. You can even add in video clips just by dragging and dropping it in. Pretty much everything's drag and drop. Y'all follow me? Okay, good. So if you want to step it up a notch, you can add some overlays to your video, whether it's a simple graphic or you want to have some titles or other info at the bottom of your screen. You can even add animated overlays like this one or this one. And with Ecamm Live's interview mode, you have full control over the look and feel of your broadcast. And you can add branded overlays to frame you and your guests and look like a real legit broadcast. And you can save each layout as a scene and switch between them with the press of a button. And you know, these days between virtual meetings, school, live streams, we on video all the time. So you just want to show up in a way where you can be confident and proud of. And for me, Ecamm Live is at the center of it all. Did y'all get all that?
You were on mute.
Yo, 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 it's your boy Mel from Queens Sports Talk Radio, and you listening to WGJSradio.com. Yo, call in 347-410-8077, 347-410-8077. Yo, we talking loyalty in sports right now. We talking about this whole, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving situation. Also, one thing I've been doing with this platform, I told myself I want to be out there in the streets and I want to be out there, getting like this young talent that's coming up, that's doing a thing. I want to start like really tapping into that market because of the high school games, and they're not being covered like they used to be covered. You know what I mean? Also like, college, some of the the local college teams, you know what I mean? I want to kind of reach out to players, and they don't have to be like all D1, it could be JUCO, you know what I mean? It's all about just everybody got a story. There's levels to this. You know what I mean? There's levels to sports, and I got a couple coaches that's going to be coming on for football, track, soccer. Everything is not going to be basketball, but we just came out of basketball season. It's summertime. People still out here hooping and stuff like that. Baseball, we talking about baseball. Football is almost on its way. So we're going to have a lot more, but I want y'all to, to see what's going on in the community, and not just in the community in Queens. Like I said, send me your video, send me your top plays. If you got players that's doing their thing, it don't matter where they at. It could be Georgia, it could be California, it could be New York. Yo, send me the footage. Let me know who's next up. Let me know who's next up. Send me the information at info@ourworldmedia.com. That's info@ourworldmedia.com. So what I say I'm gonna start doing, I'm gonna start incorporating players and talent, and I want to do my own top 5 plays of the week. So I was at Lincoln Park, and I was watching the games, and when the Holy Cross versus Team Underrated was playing, I got a little bit of something that I want to show with y'all. So what I'm gonna do is right now, man, we're gonna get into the top 5 plays. We're gonna say of the week, but for the most part, right now, it's of this game. But starting next week, we're gonna just be mixing it up from all types of games and different things like that. So let's get into it, man. We're gonna get into the top 5 plays, of this week.
Look if it goes.
And just hammering it down, man. So those are the top 5 plays of the week. You know those plays, man. Tap in, tag them. Tag Team Underrated. Tag Holy Cross. Tag Lincoln Park. You know what I mean? I know that was Ja that hit that that tied the game to send it into double overtime. That was a double overtime game. Holy Cross ended up losing that game. They had 5 players. The other team underrated, had 8. But one thing I like, and I'm going to post some interviews on Monday. I took some interviews of the players after the game. One thing I like is about Holy Cross, they ain't make no excuses. They ain't make no excuses. We got a caller calling right now. Thank you for calling in. You're listening to Mel from Queens, WGJS Radio. What's your name and where you calling from?
It's Jay, man, Frager, calling from Staten Island, New York.
Yo, what's good, Jay?
Man?
What's going on? What you want to talk about today, man?
So, you was mentioning, I kind of, I missed the first part, but I know you did mention something about Kyrie and KD.
Okay.
And my issue is, if you don't like where you're at or you have a problem, my whole thing is, why are you signing these contracts? So with KD, the same thing goes with Ben Simmons. These guys are coming in there and they're signing deals, and then they say, I don't like it anymore, and then leave. Like, give it a chance to, at least see what happens, or don't sign a contract and then go free agency like LeBron.
But why, though?
You know what I'm saying? That's how.
Now here's my thing. Hold on, real quick. Here's my thing. I respect LeBron, right, for playing out every contract, because then nobody can't knock and say, oh, LeBron just jumped ship. Technically, LeBron played out every contract, and when his contract was up, he went to the team that he wanted to go to, right? No problem. But here's the issue that I have that nobody's speaking about. If you have that issue, do you have the same issue with the owners that sat down with DeMar DeRozan and say, you know what, you're our guy? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be here, we want you. And then a few days later, you trade him for Kawhi Leonard? Why tell a guy that if you're going to trade him?
Well, that's part of the business. That's part of the business. If you feel like, you can get a better player, then you're going to trade. I would do it too. If I'm an owner, wait. Hold on. Stay there. Let's break this down. You said that's part of the business. Is not players going where they want to go? Should that not be part of the business? No, it is part of the business, but you signed the contract, so obviously you wanted to be there.
Wait, hold up. Wait. It's the same situation, though.
No, it's not the same situation.
Wait, hold up. They signed DeMar DeRozan because obviously they wanted him. Because just because you want to be somewhere doesn't mean you're going to be there. Because if that was the case, remember Isaiah Thomas? He poured his heart out for Boston. He played injured. He ended up getting injured even more. And when it was time for him to re-up, you tell me what happened. What did Boston do?
Well, Boston didn't want his time because he was hurt.
They ain't want to. They didn't.
Well, yeah, because they didn't want to because he was hurt. The thing about it, that was on the doctors because they said that he was good enough to play. I don't really blame Boston too much as far as the owners. I blame the actual doctors. That's a whole different scenario.
But those are Boston's doctors.
Yeah, but the owner is just doing what's best for the team. The owner is saying, you know what, you're hurt. And not Kyrie, but Isaiah Thomas played through injury because of what the doctors told him, and the doctors tell the owners that.
Now, I'm not saying you wrong. Listen to what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying you wrong for how you feeling about the owners, right? I'm just saying that the media has threw this spin on people where if a player want to exercise their same rights, they try to make it as a knock. They try to knock the players. Oh, you running. You ain't built for this. You ain't this. But a team could trade you at any given moment, and it's crickets.
Well, if you're trying to win, and it's a business, I'm trying to get what's best for, what package I can get. So say they did like DeRozan. I believe they did. But what they're saying is if I get Kawhi, a champion, proven All-NBA, I'm going to get that over, and that's just how it is. If I'm DeRozan, I don't blame them.
So stop.
Kawhi's a better player.
Now, I want to follow you because I want us to walk this through.
Okay, let's walk. Let's take baby steps. Let's figure this out.
I'll follow you with that, right? So if you're Kevin Durant, right? Your boy is Kyrie. Kyrie is the reason that you probably even chose the Nets. Kyrie is the reason that you're here, right?
Yep. So I wouldn't have signed the contract. But go ahead.
Now the Nets disrespected Kyrie. If you're Kevin Durant, right? You signed your 4-year extension, expecting not only were they going to have signed Kyrie, but at the time when he signed his extension, it was anticipating they was going to sign James Harden to an extension as well. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you trade James Harden, You don't sign Kyrie Irving to his max deal. Why should Kevin Durant show any loyalty? That's what I'm asking you. Why should he not want to say, you know what, I'm out of here? Please tell me why Kevin Durant should stay. Just because he signed the contract? He's not the only one that signed the contract. Go ahead.
No. So what I'm saying is when he signed that extension, the whole thing with Kyrie was going down with the whole vaccine stuff. All that stuff was going down, and Harden was unhappy.
No, that was before. He actually signed the extension in the preseason. He signed the extension before the season even started. So Kevin Durant knew when he started the season he was going to be with the Nets. Now, but he knew about the vaccine thing. Been happened though, because remember, Kyrie was talking about he wasn't going to take the vaccine way before the season even started. Remember this whole thing when the vaccine came out was before the season. So he knew what was going down. He knew that there was going to be an issue. Kyrie wasn't going to play, and then Harden didn't even want to go to Brooklyn anyway. So let's just be real about that. He always wanted Philly. Well, I think I think the mandate came after Kevin Durant signed his contract. But even if they
I don't know about that.
Even if they did, let's go. Keep going.
Okay, my whole thing is he knew what was going down with the whole Nets. Even if he didn't know, my whole thing is you have to have foresight. So my whole thing is once you sign that contract, let me just say this. The whole thing is once you sign that contract, here's the thing. Let's say you want to leave. Let's say I agree with Durant. He should want to leave.
Okay.
It's going to be harder to trade you now.
Why? That's what I'm saying. You know why it's harder? I'm gonna get into this real quick. You know why it's hard to trade Kevin Durant right now? The real reason it's hard to trade Kevin Durant right now.
Ben Simmons. Go ahead.
No, it's for two reasons. The first reason is because Danny Ainge was being Danny Ainge, and I would never say, because I always feel like, let me say this, whatever you bargain for, I feel like it's what you deserve. So I ain't gonna knock Danny Ainge, but Danny Ainge pretty much fleeced. You know what I mean?
He did. Yeah, I agree with you. He fleeced the Nets.
He fleeced Minnesota. No, I'm talking about right now. He fleeced Minnesota
right now. Okay,
for Gobert, right? So if you think right now every team is giving up 4 draft picks, 2 players, and all that stuff for a play, you bugging, right? That's one reason.
That's what I'm saying.
But the main reason that Kevin Durant I feel is not traded yet is because just like they put out there, the commissioner put out there that's going to be an issue for the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, right? You got to understand when it comes to the situations like that, the owners know time is coming. That time is coming. So they're not going to pretty much work in the favor of Kevin Durant and give the players more power. By Kevin Durant making this decision, I'm going to take another call, Jake. Thanks for the call, man.
All right, no problem. All right.
By Kevin Durant making that decision, what happened was the owner said, you know what? We ain't going to allow it to happen. We're going to make it difficult for this to go down. Because if Kevin Durant go down to it, what's going to happen when Trae Young contract is up and he signed a 4-year and he want to get traded? What happened when Luka? You know what I mean? Now they starting to think about their young stars. And that's the part what people don't get. That's the part that people don't want to understand. The media always has some type of narrative. We got a caller. This is Mel from Queens. You listening to WGJS Radio. Caller, where you calling from? And what you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's
and your
Jay
name.
from Long Island.
What's
How
going
you
on
doing today?
I'm getting a lot of J's today. What's going on, Jay?
Yeah, I was listening to your last call, and basically I agree with you. My thing is this. There's no loyalty in business, right? It's only business. Because loyalty only applies when somebody got like holding the key in their hand. So let's say owners, right? The owner, let's say a player don't have a no trade clause in their contract, right? That means the owner is in charge of your career, so they can trade you whenever they want. Now, like they were saying, is if an owner trades you, it's business, right? But if you leave or if you demand a trade, now that's being unloyal.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing is, just because Kevin Durant requested a trade, that don't mean the Nets got to trade him.
Right.
You there for 4 years. So people get caught up in like, oh, you disloyal. No. Kevin Durant signed a contract. To Jay's point, he signed a contract. So being that he signed a contract, right, he stuck there for 4 years, another 4 years. So nobody got to trade you. You can just play for the Nets and be stuck there.
Right.
Now, if the Nets acquiesce to your trade demand, then that's the Nets handling business again. But KD had power, right, when he left OKC. That's not being disloyal. When he left the Warriors, that's not being loyal.
He was a free agent, actually. In those cases, though, he was a free agent.
That's my point. He had the power. That's
okay, right.
He had the power. So people call him unloyal for leaving OKC.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they call LeBron unloyal for leaving Cleveland, right? So you're not stuck. Like how many times we've heard players say they didn't know they was traded until like they seen Instagram.
Yo,
they seen ESPN.
Wait, hold up. Wasn't DeMarcus Cousins traded one year during the All-Star game?
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like these dudes be getting traded, and
Right.
they don't even know. You remember the dudes? Who was it? I forgot the player. Was it Jefferson or Shumpert? One of them dudes who they was traded at halftime.
Oh yeah. It might have been Iman Shumpert. I'm trying to think. Was it Shumpert or was Lance Steve? It was. I forgot who it was, but I remember the situation. I'm gonna bring it up. Now here's my question for you, real quick, Jay. I know we got probably about 3-4 more minutes of the show, right? So what you're saying is that, okay, I know you said you agree. So you're saying is that you understand that this is a business, and if people got a problem with a player asking for a request under contract, they should have a problem with a player that's being waived by the team under contract, or a player that's being told that we like you and we want to keep you, like they did DeRozan, and then a few days later, they trade you Kawhi Leonard, right? And here's my biggest problem, right? The media always say LeBron did nothing wrong in his whole career except ask to leave Cleveland, right? Now here's my thing. He's a free agent. I don't owe you to tell you where I want to go or where I have to go. It ain't my job for me to make sure you get other players or sign players and you get what's worth for me before I leave. That ain't my job. That's your job. But the media spin that and they say, oh, LeBron is a bad guy because he opted to leave Cleveland to be his. Oh, it was Harrison Barnes that got traded at halftime. Yo, thanks, Jay, the other Jay that called in. He was traded to Dallas at halftime. You know what I'm saying? And nobody talks about this stuff. So what I'm saying was going back to the situation with LeBron. They saying that's the only knock on his career. The only knock on his career is a young man that came in the league. He was 17 probably at the time. And he decided, I want to take my talents to South Beach, and I ain't let the owners know. And they look at that as a problem, an issue. The media narrative, he's not faithful, he's not loyalty. Now, what do you think about loyalty? You got about a minute, Jay, about loyalty? Because I feel like the only loyalty I've seen in sports my entire life, personally, was Kobe Bryant and the Lakers, man. Because Kobe Bryant got all his money, he ain't care. And the Lakers ain't have a problem paying his money. They ain't care. And it don't matter what their records was at the time. Everybody got what they got. That's loyalty. Ain't nobody else doing that. Who else did that? You know anybody, Jay? Give me a sport. Maybe, I think we lost Jay, but maybe even Derek Jeter. I got to see if Derek Jeter gave up any money. But if you giving up money, I don't count that as loyalty. Because the owners is taking money back from you. That's like right now you a job. You doing the job right now. And they saying like, yo, in order for us to hire new employees, you're going to have to take a little bit less. No, give me all my money. Give me all my money. You know what I mean? Yo, we got 1 minute left. 347-410-8077. 347-410-8077. So, I thank y'all for listening, man. But, we got to stop allowing the media to brainwash us with these narratives. Because I be in many sports debates. I be in groups. I be in conversations. I be in barbershops. And once people start talking, I'm like, okay, you've been listening to Stephen A. You've been listening to Skip. You've been listening to Shannon. Because you're no longer even talking about the game. You're no longer even talking about what makes sense. You just running with whatever narrative. So, with that being said, I'm not a Brooklyn Nets fan. But I have no problem with Kevin Durant leaving, asking for a trade. We got a caller. Real quick, before we gonna just take this caller. Caller, where you calling from? Just say your name and what you want to talk about.
Peace. What's good, everybody? This is Reborn.
What's going on? My brother, what's going on, my brother?
Good, man. Letting the world know the album's about to come out real soon, yo.
All right, cool, man. You already know what's the name of the album coming out, man.
Principles of Life.
All right.
In August.
Yo, appreciate it, man. Have you been listening to the topics and everything that's been going on?
Well, I just got on right now, you know what I'm saying, because I'm on a little break right now at work.
Okay. All right, no
so
doubt.
I was scrolling through it, and I saw you on live, so I was like, yo, let me jump in, yo.
Yo, I appreciate it, man. Yo, Reborn, man. Just tell the name of your project that's coming out again, man, and your name.
It should be coming out the beginning of August. You know what I'm saying? It's called Principles of Life. 23 years in the making. It's been long overdue. All productions by me, except for 3 joints that I bought over the years, and most of the engineering, actually all of the engineering is by Justified and Zealous, my man Jazz, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, I appreciate it, man. Yo, thanks for that plug, man. Pray all goes well, man.
We're going to bring hip-hop back to the way it used to be, the way it's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Let's do it, man.
Y'all definitely going to get that New York, that Nas, that Wu-Tang type, you know what I'm saying? That Sons of Man type. Yeah,
Okay.
Just be prepared, everybody.
All right. Yo, thanks, man. Reborn, man. That was Reborn. This project coming out soon. All right, bro.
All right, yo. That's y'all. Peace.
All right, cool. All right, man. Yo, you give me that was the first free marketing right there, man. We ain't give that's my bro, man. Like, he's cool, man. He surprised me with that one. But yo, thank you, man, for watching. Thank you for tapping in. Yo, I thank everybody for watching this week, man. Like I said, man, let me tell y'all one more time. If you want to send a top play, say of a friend, you know, of your child, of a team or whatever, send it to info@ourworldmedia.com. That's info@ourworldmedia.com. If you know that player that's next up, track, volleyball, soccer, yo, we want to do interviews. You know what I mean? We want to show some highlights. I'm going to do a couple interviews. I did some interviews after that Holy Cross team underrated game at Lincoln Park. So I'm going to post those on Monday. But if you know the players and the team, you know, I know I'm going to send them the link and stuff. You'll let them know, man, I got the top 5 plays from that game up. It's going to be up. So, yo, thank y'all for listening. This is Mel from Queens Sports Talk, and you listening to WGJSradio.com. See y'all next time.
Time move here, Gary. Talk about elevating and linker. Jermaine Griffin says, well, if Kobe can't do it, maybe it's my turn to take over. I'm the second leading scorer on this team.